Who was the real audience today when these two presidents reached the Rose Garden? Was it Kim Jong-Un or President Xi?
It's partially Kim Jong-Un. Even more, it was the South Korean people. South Korea lives under the shadow now, not just of China, which is nothing new, but a fast-growing North Korean nuclear and missile arsenal. And they want some reassurance that the United States commitment is good. If you're old enough to remember, this reminds me a lot of the 50s and 60s. And when de Gaulle and others in France were saying, how can we trust you to put New York at risk in order to save Paris? Well, this is the South Korean equivalent. Are you going to be there to defend Seoul if North Korea, which increasingly has missiles that can reach the United States, potentially with nuclear weapons, can we count on you? South Korea was unnerved by President Trump when he threatened to pull all 28,000 U.S. troops out of their country. So what you saw is the president involved in strategic reassurance, basically saying, we're going to visit you with nuclear-capable systems. We're going to send some messages to the North. We're going to involve you more intimately in any nuclear decision-making. But that's what this is about.
When you have the South Korean president here, the timing, of course, at an awkward moment. Our own Sam Kim said that back home in Seoul, people are really trying to downplay this leap. At the end of the day, what this shows that the U.S. was spying on their allies. How much do you think this overshadowed the conversations that took place today?
I don't think it did. The Koreans made a strategic or political decision not to put this front and center. It was awkward. It was embarrassing, but it is. They were unhappy even before any of this over the question of access of electronic vehicles made in South Korea to the U.S. market. They thought that what we were doing was protectionist. And by the way, they may have had a pretty good point there. But we've got lots of issues. South Korea, which is one of the world's 12 largest economies, is trying to represent itself or portray itself as a large, not just regional, but global partner of the United States. So they weren't going, I think they made a clear command decision not to allow the awkwardness of the monitoring of the conversations to get in the way of the visit.
Richard, the U.S. may surpass China as a top destination for South Korean imports this year. With that in mind, is America doing enough here economically to preserve this relationship as we try to control exports to China of high-tech equipment and some other items here? Are we making up the difference for South Korea?
Well, it's difficult, but we're doing quite a lot. The free trade agreement really helps. Indeed, without that, we'd be in real trouble because, as everybody knows, the United States, I think, made the short-sighted decision not to join, not to participate in the largest regional economic grouping. But again, we've got this bilateral mechanism with South Korea. So I think that essentially is okay. What we've got to do is iron out some of the protectionist measures that have crept into this relationship.
I want to also ask you about the phone call that took place today. This was widely anticipated for months, and then it never happened. And this was with President Xi Jinping calling President Volodymyr Zelensky. What is your reaction? Does this undermine, in some senses, what the United States is trying to do? Because what China is putting forward is not really a wholehearted peace plan, given the fact that obviously it weighs heavily on Russia, and this would really mostly benefit Putin.
Look, before the war, Ukraine was a really important economic partner of China. I think China was its largest economic partner. Ukrainians are basically hoping that China will use some of its leverage with Vladimir Putin. So that was the whole reason for this delayed phone call. And the real question, and neither the Ukrainian nor Chinese readout cast a lot of light on it, Annmarie, well, whether the Chinese are actually prepared to lean on Putin. If they wanted to, they could. It's not just what they don't do vis-a-vis Russia, it's what pressure they could put on them. Obviously, Ukraine is hoping for it. China wants to burnish its image as a great diplomat and peacemaker. Well, here's a chance to show it. So we'll see what comes after this this phone call. And I don't resent that. I don't think the United States should resist it. If China can do good things, we ought not to be silly and say we're not going to support it just because it emanated from China. We should focus on what they do, not on where it comes from.